What's up, y'all? This is Ian Edwards, and welcome to the Soccer Comic Rant. And if you're listening to this podcast, you can also watch it on YouTube at Ian Edwards or Ian Soccer Comic Rant Edwards. Or, I don't know, if you're watching and you want to listen, you can go to Omni, iTunes, All Things Comedy. If you go to All Things Comedy, allthingscomedy.com has some of the best comics in the world that have their own podcasts on the site, on the platform. Bill Burr, Bert Kreischer, Tom Popper, Eliza Schlesinger, Tiger Belly with Bobby Lee, Bill Burr, and Bert Kreischer have their own podcast. The list of names go on. So go check that out. And if you're listening or watching on any of these platforms, like and subscribe and, tell your peoples and stuff, And we're going to have more guests today, but right now it's just Lee. We're the early ones, so we just want to get the intros and stuff out of the way. And I guess another part of the intro is talking about sponsors. And the sponsor for the podcast is onthevolleyapparel.com. And if you go to onthevolleyapparel.com, you see tanks, hoodies, sweatshirts, and t-shirts with a soccer hip-hop emblems and logos on the front of them. And they're dope. And they have stuff for men and they have stuff for women. And they can also outfit your local team. Use my promo code Comic Rant and you get 20% off. And let me throw to Lee Hudson, say what's up to Lee and welcome him, unlike the way Everton welcomed his Southampton team today and beat them 1-0. Lee, comic from England, Southampton fan, how you feeling after losing 8 out of 9?
Yeah, we can't buy a win in the league right now. Injuries are hitting us hard. We started getting players back recently, and then they start getting injured again. We missed Romeo in the midfield. He got injured making a tackle against Leeds last week, and yeah, we miss him big time in there. And I mean, we brought on a player. We were bringing a guy off the bench today, and I looked at him. I was like, I don't even know who this is. Literally, I was like, who is this kid? Like, he's not even one of the top youth team players. We're just throwing them all in now.
Did they bring back the kid that got the red card against Man U?
He was on the bench against Leeds. I'm not sure if he was there today, but yeah, we need some more depth to the team. Like, I'm all for giving the youth players a chance, but it's bad when there's this many of them going in at once because we just don't have anything else.
Damn. But
the thing is, we worked hard. Though. We worked hard in this game. We didn't have the quality, and we lacked a bit of concentration on the goal and stuff. But I mean, the players still worked hard. They haven't given up or anything. It's just not happening.
Yeah, I mean, I checked how many points you got. You got 30. And to be honest, to stay in this league, you need 7 more points. There's 12 more games. You got 7 more points in you, or you should go down. But you got 7 more points in you. I would say, 12 games, that's 12 weeks to get players fit. But that's not 12 weeks. That's more like 6 or 5 weeks, because everything is like in fast motion. So you have time working against you, but you have enough games to get 7 points so you could feel safe. So you have, I think the good news is you started the season strong. It's unbelievable that Southampton was at the top of the table at a decent period in the playing timetable, not like it was week 1 or week 2. And now you're on a 8 out of 9. You've lost the last 8 out of 9. And it's not a Hughes and Houthel thing. I still can't say his name. It's not a coaching thing. It's definitely an injury thing. But how are the fans feeling about him now? Has it changed?
Oh no, everyone's still fully behind the manager. There's been a bit more sort of anger directed at the chairman still for not investing in the team in January. We could have kicked on a bit more and done some more in the league, but it is what it is. Like you said, we should be safe, barring a real catastrophe. We should be safe. We live to play another season of Premier League football. And yeah, I'm just hoping there's some players in the squad who want to, like, I mean, Danny Ings has been out of form, 1 or 2 goals, but he's been out of form, whereas like he should be trying to get in that Euro squad right now.
Right.
Same with Ward-Prowse as well. Like those guys, they're sort of on the fringe of the England team. Sometimes they're in the squad, sometimes they're not. So they need to have a big end to the season now.
Gotta be honest, man. I don't want Danny Ings in the England squad or Ward-Prowse. I don't think they're good enough. I feel there's no disrespect. They're good players, good Premier League players, but like when I think back to, like, you know, the Owings and the quality of the Michael Owens and the quality of you know, like, I don't think those and the midfield from the 90s into the early 2000s, I don't feel like those guys would have made it. And I just want our quality to be better than those guys, just so England has an overall better chance.
I wouldn't put either of them in like our strongest 11, like nowhere near, but I think they have a chance of being in the squad. Like Ward-Prowse, I mean, you could bring that guy off the bench and he could win you a game purely from a corner or a free kick or something. He's worth having in the squad.
But don't we have other free kick takers that are good? Like,
not as good as him.
Alexander Trent Arnold, and you got the other ex Spurs fullback who plays for Atletico Madrid, who's being banned right now for a small betting thing. Trippier.
Trippier won't play. I don't think he's behind so many players now.
We got free kick takers. You got, you know, Rashford, who can take a free kick. You know, he's probably not the best
level though. I think he's the best in the league for me. It's the one thing we're the best in the league at. But like for him from 25 yards on a free kick is like a penalty. It's
All right, so we have 2 people that just joined kind of late. Neil Chakravarti from Way of India, living in San Diego, stand-up comic, Chelsea fan. And you know what's funny, Iman? Like, I might be butchering your name because, like, we met at the comedy festival in Ireland, right? But I don't know if I haven't said your name in a long time, so I might be butchering it. Can you hear me? Or are you still hooking that thing up?
Yes, I can hear you. Yeah, you can hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear. Are you saying, do you podcast much? You look completely prepared. You look like you stole some little girl's headphones and you have a microphone set.
Yes, I do podcast much, but I don't I do every 2 weeks. Like I try to do podcasts every 2 weeks. Yeah, but like right now I'm just tired because of and because of the lockdown and and like all the stuff going on, I'm just drained. So I'm just like, I'm gonna just take this from the cupboard.
You're drained from doing nothing?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, man. Because my girlfriend, you get me? She's with me, and you know she likes to find my joy and just take it away. So you know, you do this.
It sounds like Southampton with Lee. Like Southampton, these are Southampton's fans. Southampton likes to find his joy and just drain it out of him. So maybe just like Lee needs to find a new football team, you need to find a new girlfriend, bro.
I'm stuck with these guys for life.
But it's more illegal for Lee to leave Southampton than it is for you. You could leave your girl. You can find another girl. Yeah.
Bro, like she is gonna get a flight and she is gonna come for you. Just keep talking. He's saying it. I'm just agreeing.
I mean, that means I took one for the team and I'm giving you a break. So when she's over here cursing me out, just remember I did this for you.
Ian's more on the offensive than his football team at the moment.
Wow. Mr. Chelsea over here. It was a midfield battle, all right? Listen, some teams, we don't try to score. We want to see who wins the midfield, and that's how we mix it up sometimes. That's what we're into. You know,
that's a really technical way of saying boring.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure some people enjoyed the game. You know,
I enjoyed the game.
I enjoyed the game because I thought it was a tense game in the middle, and And I enjoyed it. Like to see Conte versus like, you know, a reborn Fred. And when I say reborn Fred, I mean like, you know, Fred has been doing his thing since the end of last season and getting back into this, and to see that matchup, and they were on each other. And to see, like, a lot of United fans keep shitting on McTominay, and it's like, don't you see what he does? Like, he blocked a shot that was point blank range on goal, chased Mount all the way down into the goal area, and blocked it. Got beat and recovered. And it's like, why, you know? But
I think there's something about these British names that don't just flow off the, like, fans take a long time getting warming up to some of these British players, which wouldn't really be a problem if somebody had like an exotic name, came with a big transfer fee.
So we fucked up when we got a Brazilian with a regular English name.
Yeah,
and like Fred should be.
Where's the Inyo part of his name?
On the back of Fredinho. And you're like, he's really good. He's our best player. Yeah.
I love how like Willian like did the bare minimum that's required to have like a non-British name. He was almost going for William, but then he's like, okay, let me change one letter.
Hey man, Willian had a great game for Arsenal this week.
I know, he got that one out of the way. It's 2021 now.
He got two assists. 2 assists, yeah. Yo,
I was surprised.
You were surprised.
I was literally at home saying, like, what is going on? Is this the same player we've had? Like, what happened? You get me?
Can I tell you what Arteta did this week? Iman, you know what he did? He was smart. Like, when you see your lineup before the game, you're like, what the fuck is he doing? No Sako, no Aubameyang, and you're like, oh shit. But then I was like, oh, he knows that they both played midweek games and they're both tired. And he went with the fresher squad. And to be honest, Arsenal has a better bench than Leicester. So you have a better chance with fresh guys against, the remainder of what Leicester has left to put on the field. And he gambled, and that fresher squad did its thing. It wasn't even that tactical. It was like, let me out-fresh these motherfuckers.
Yes. Like, I agree with that. But right, the first time I saw like the team sheets, right? The first time I saw the team sheet, I was literally saying to myself, this is gonna be like a depressing afternoon for me. I am just gonna have a bad day because of this team. I'm sick of this shit. You get me? And then you're like, Willian is starting, and you're like, fuck, he's a bowl of mistake. You're like fucking David Luiz. You don't know what you're getting with David Luiz. You don't know what this, like, you're like, is he gonna be good today? Is he gonna be shit? Is he gonna be
you're normally getting a penalty.
Yeah, you're like he's going to get sent off. He's like, you know what? I don't want to play 45 minutes. Okay, I want to play at least half of that. You get me? He's like, and then I'm like, I'm in there saying to myself, I was saying to myself, it's going to be a shit day. I'm going to be pissed off, and my girlfriend's going to be like, oh, there goes Zeman again watching Arsenal. Pick another team. She literally says that to me. Pick another team. I'm sick of you going angry because of this fucking team.
Little does she know you're about to.
I know.
You might pick another girlfriend.
So like, and then because okay, one is like, we as Arsenal fans, right? We go and have like no patience for any players. We have gone through like a lot of players since.
That's a question I want to ask you. Go ahead.
We are so on the players too much. Like, we go mad at David Luiz, Nicola Pepe, Aubameyang. We literally go one by one from like the back to the front. Anybody on that team anyone can get it.
Anybody can get it.
So man, I'm like, guys, let's calm down a bit. But like, there are people that literally hate Willian. People despise. They would literally.
Man, let me tell you, someone. I don't know where he is on your screen. He's this way, but this guy hates Willian, and he's so happy that Arsenal bought, and he hates David Luiz. And like the best thing, like, Chelsea doesn't even have to win a trophy. He just needs to see Arsenal not win a trophy with those two guys, and that will make his season.
No, I mean, here's the thing. Like, when Willian left Chelsea, I actually really like him. Like as somebody who's in the dressing room, I think he has a great attitude. And there were a couple of moments when in the last 2 years when some of the academy guys were coming in, and he was like the senior guy in the dressing room. And there are a lot of great moments where he, helped these guys, and they're on record saying so. I just don't like him in a position that he plies his trade. I just don't like him
in the position.
This week he came out and he said he would have stayed at Chelsea, but they only offered him a 2-year contract.
2-year contract.
I mean, you'd be lucky to get 2 at your age.
Exactly. Like this is something we haven't done for John Terry, for Didier Drogba, for Frank Lampard in their prime, right? And he's like, no, 2 is too less.
Yeah, if you believe in yourself, take the 2 and then get an extension. Then, like
he played for that too. He was good, but now when he went to Arsenal, he didn't deserve whatever Arsenal gave him. But yesterday was good. What does Arsenal need? And I feel like the fans have no patience. They have to look at this team and see that this is definitely has to be rebuilt from even before Arteta got there. So why do the fans not like? And we had this discussion with Moa. Like he's another guy that's on the podcast, and he's talking about Barcelona fans will be patient, which no fans have any patience. And they don't care if somebody's rebuilding. Like you have so many young pieces and you need a completely new defense. Yeah. And it's like, why? And people, do you know people who want Arteta fired?
I don't know. I do. I know.
So why don't they just let him rebuild it? Should Arsenal just say, hey, this is a rebuilding period. This is not we're going to win a bunch of shit period. Is that the problem?
No. One is, we just don't like the position that we're in. And also, Tottenham, if you're a true Arsenal fan, you can't sleep. I was literally panicking when I thought that Tottenham was going to win the league. I was like, are you kidding me? They are going to it? Are you scrap everybody? Everybody gone. Fine. Okay, start from the ground up. Because you're just like, I was literally no, I won't let that happen, right? And 2 is like, okay, for us, right? Mm-hmm. We don't have we have no what's it called? We have no patience with the board. You get me? Like the board are just like, okay, like go out and spend. Yeah, but they don't spend. Like they always take out like a bunch of what's it called? They always take out like a bunch of dividends from like the club. They always take out money out of the club. And you're like, put the money back in the club. Buy this person. And also, right? And this guy, what's his name, man? Arsenal Wenger, right? Mm-hmm. Wenger needs to stop talking about all the players that he could have signed. He came out last week, and I'm like, if this guy said he had a chance to sign one more good player, I swear to God.
It's like a new guy every week.
He's claiming, and you're like just the memories of pain of bad signings. We're not doing nothing. We're just like, stop giving us memory. It's hard to watch. That constant fear of our head. Oh, guess what? Cristiano Ronaldo had a chance to sign him. Why the fuck did you not sign him? Why the fuck did you keep this guy like Nicholas Bentner, which was the worst player? I never knew what he saw in fucking Nicholas Bentner. I never knew that. Okay, this guy must have been doing magical stuff in training, because on the pitch he did fuck all. Okay, he had Nicholas Bentner playing consistently, and Senderos was a mistake waiting to happen every game. Senderos will score on goal before he scores on the other opposition. I was like, so him, and then the board, and then all of these players on like big money, and also. For us, we kept selling all our good players. We kept selling. You did sell.
You sold Haleb. I thought Haleb was like the next.
Bro, we sold him. We sold like Sanchez, like to you guys. Thank God he fucked up in your team, so we're happy.
Don't worry, we offloaded him. We corrected that instantly.
So like, okay, for us, right? How the hell do you want us to be good when we can't keep all our big players? How? It's impossible. You get me?
You have no good players to worry about keeping now. So
we do have a good player. We have a good player. Tierney is a good player.
Tierney is good.
He's a good player.
Sacco is like feels like he's the leader of the team. Like he looks like he makes it look like Aubameyang looks up to him. Like everybody, like you look at Sacco, he's like, you know the deal. Like this is the guy.
And guess what? And that's the problem, because in 2 years' time, a big fucking team is gonna come in with big fucking money, and Arsenal are gonna be like, we don't pay our players 300. Shut the fuck up and pay them the fucking money. Like, okay, when it comes to like our season tickets is expensive. Our season ticket is expensive. Just the day fucking ticket on Arsenal game is like the most expensive in the Premier League. And then you're telling me that you can't pay a player more fucking money? Where the fuck is my money going then?
Well, right now you got no season ticket revenue.
Yeah, true.
So, like, but the thing is, like, there's 3 people on here, right, that have problems with their board. Like, Man U fans have problem with their board. Arsenal does, and Lee was just telling me as a Southampton fan, and I get it. Like, that Southampton is always selling and never really buying, and they're depleted, and it's a good thing they got such a good start to the season. So we feel your pain. Abramovich over here to our left, like money bags, is just like a strip club of money.
Oh, I hate him. And the other guy from the Man City. Oh, fucking hell.
Yeah.
Man City.
So that's the question. It's not even a question, but what do you guys think about what Pep said? And let's go with Lee first, and then Neil, and then Imana. It's like Pep basically said, we're winning the league because we spend the money, and you have to spend the money to win. He's like pretty blatant with it, and it was cool for him to be honest, but it's just is what it is. What do you think about what he said, Lee?
Yeah, I think like you look at what clubs spend, and it normally sort of tallies up with their success. He's still a great coach, but he needs players that can do the things he asks of them, and he could still do that with lesser players, but he wouldn't be able to get them to do it to the level that the players he has can do it. And that's because they cost that money. He can go and say, I want this guy, and it works. They can do the things that he asks of them. You add those 2 things together, a great coach and an unlimited funding source, then you're going to win titles.
What do you think about it, Neil?
I mean, he's kind of being honest, right? Like if you look at the last 20 years of the Premier League, like the teams that have won, except maybe for Leicester, which we all know was on one-off, right? I think the teams that have invested the most are about, you don't have to be the most, but you have to be somewhere in that top 2 or 3, and eventually those are the teams that end up winning. Now, but doesn't mean that every team that's spending money is winning, because we've seen examples like United after Ferguson has spent so much money.
Whoa, blood!
And no, I mean, my club has gone through that too in the years. It's just that we've had good years on the other side of it. But I think there are enough examples that just money without using it wisely is not going to help.
Yeah,
but.
Even I think if you look at Liverpool, like Liverpool were good under Klopp, but it wasn't until they spent like a record amount on Alisson, a record amount on Van Dijk, that they went to the next level. They needed to spend that money to get to that level. They were good before that, but Van Dijk and Alisson were like 2 of the most expensive players in their positions in the world, and
they're financially worth it.
It took them to the league.
What do you think about that, Adama? Since your board is just spending dividends on themselves, bathing in dividends over there.
It's just like we have to spend like cash, because like just for you to get like the best players, like 2 things you need is money, just for you to get the best players. Why? They just pay the wages and also to pay the transfer fee, but also that one has to be very careful how you spend your money. You get me? Like, for example, Harry Maguire. Like, no offense to you guys, but he has
I agree.
You guys got scammed. I don't know who sold that player. That must be a Nigerian person. But like, you know what? You know,
it actually was a Nigerian person with a Russian mix.
Because like literally 80 million for that, you can get two good fucking center backs. You get me? So yeah, that is right. Like you have to spend like a lot of money. Mm-hmm. But like you have to spend it very, very wisely. Because, for example, right, what's this player for us? The guy's name is called Cedric. Mm-hmm. Cedric is cheap, but like the guy's playing decent. Oh, what? Thank you. We'll take him. He's playing decent for us. I think he is.
He's okay going forward. He can't defend. Walker Peters for us was an upgrade, but he's injured at the moment, so we're fucked.
See.
I think I will say one thing though, like the teams that are in the top 6, whether you spend or you don't spend, right now the way the TV contracts are and all the sponsorships deals are, there really shouldn't be an excuse to not spend the money you need to be competitive. Like to Iman's point about Arsenal, right? Mm-hmm. They're not spending due to some divine compulsion. They're not spending because their owners don't want to spend. They could easily spend. You know, they have some of the highest revenues in European football. And so the days of where, you know, and you can do smart deals, right? Like, and you can use the academy. So you don't need to get 18 high value, you don't need to purchase 18 high value players. Mm-hmm. You know, you can go do 5 or 6 of them, get some from the academy and get some really smart deals. And that's your squad. Get them under a good manager, and you're ready to compete at the highest level.
I just think a lot of people feel like their teams don't spend money when their teams do. Like you guys all hit the nail on the head when y'all said you have to spend the money, right? And a lot of people, if they kept track of what their team spent, like sometimes our fans are like, Man U's not spending the money and the Glazers are using the money for this. But if you look, we did spend the money, but in the wrong places. Like the thing where the Harry Maguire thing hurts is not because we paid 80 mil, but because we paid 80 mil, there's a 30 million pound player sitting on the bench because we spent 80 mil. So that means Harry Maguire really costs 120 mil because now Eric Bailly has to sit on the bench because Solskjaer doesn't want to kind of admit that he made a mistake by overpaying or the board doesn't. So it's like about spending money wisely. Like in that Chelsea game, like I you know, like I know Eric Bailly has mistakes in him, but so does Harry Maguire, and he's just Eric Bailly is just a better player. Like as far as getting out of trouble with individual skill, and like he can actually make through passes, you know, which Harry Maguire has been doing a decent job of doing. But Eric Bailly just gives you more speed. And listen, fine, play Harry Maguire, but play Bailly too and push the line up, and then we can attack more. Like when we pressed Chelsea yesterday, we like in the first half, and like that's when the boring game got exciting. And I just don't I kind of understand Solskjaer. I don't know. It's like this. It's not even the Maguire thing. Like play Maguire. But why Lindelof?
Yeah.
Play Maguire, but why Lindelof? Like Bailly should be playing more, and he should be playing more just because you need him. And I know he gets injured a lot, but play him a lot and see if he gets injured when he plays a lot. Let's just experiment. But let me see what questions I got. But before we get to how you feel about Emana, how you feel about Arsenal's big win this weekend? Arsenal's women beat Villa 4-0. How you feel?
I think that the Arsenal women team are really good enough to fucking play in the men's team. I think they can all be called up. Just take all of them. Listen, you're all starters. Because like they've been good for a long time. They've been good for so long. Everyone knows that. When it comes to Well, so like when it comes to the Irish female teams, when it comes to like the Arsenal female teams, everybody knows how good they are. They've won titles countless of times, back to back to back. So I'm just like, now can we get the same stuff with the women into the male? Can we just get like the coaching system to be like, you know what? Just do the same shit you're doing over there, but do it over here. I don't know.
I think you need the personnel. And another thing about spending money like 80 million for Pepe is like, that's like almost more than half what the more than half of what the FA pays or the Premier League pays, for the season to Arsenal. Is like, that's a waste of money.
Yeah, but slowly now the guy's getting better.
Every
game he's playing, every game he's playing, you're like, okay, I can see it. Just keep it up. Don't fuck up. Don't dip. Just keep going up, and we are gonna be behind you. Pepe.
Is he ever gonna be worth 80? Who do you think got ripped off more? The 80 million for Maguire or the 80 million for Pepe? Go ahead.
You're missing a big Kepa-sized elephant in the room.
Kepa? Oh no, we know Kepa beats Kepa.
I mean, Kepa is the goat here.
He's the goat of wasting money.
But maybe between Pepe and Harry Maguire, I would say Harry Maguire, because centre backs typically are supposed to be cheaper. So if it's a similar sort of drop off in performance, then you have to say you could have gotten 30 million centre back. You have to remember though, the summer window where Pepe got transferred, Pepe's stocks were really high. He was one of the highest rated forwards, especially one of the right wingers with the left foot in Europe. So that I don't think that at that point, I don't think that money was really very like an extraordinary amount. I think that Maguire kind of came out of the. I think if Man City weren't even involved, his price wouldn't even have reached 50 million.
You mean if United? You saw Man City jumped in there too, and then.
But that's the thing. I think they raised the price. They did like what
they were just fucking. They were just fucking with us. Yeah.
Yeah, like with the rival gangster, they just went to the auction, raised the price, and left.
I think you've seen the maximum levels of Maguire's potential already. But I don't think they've seen the maximum levels of Pepe yet. I think he's still got more stages of development to go through. He can play at another sort of level to the level he's playing at right now. Still, he can be a better player. Whereas I think Maguire is he ain't getting any better. He's playing at his maximum. I think.
Right. That's why he's just a fridge. I mean, I feel like right now Maguire is doing better than Pepe, but Pepe he needs composure when you need composure the most. That's when he's and we talked about this, like he always, at the moment when he feels he needs to prove himself, that's when he crumbles. Like, this is my moment to be worth 80 million. And he takes the shot and the ball just trickles towards the goalkeeper, or he doesn't make full contact with it, or he's got to beat one last guy. He tries to beat one guy too many. The step overs are uncountable, and he just ends up in the same place. And it's like, but I feel like, I definitely see him improving, but it's tough when you see Saka for free. A free Saka compared to an 80 million Pepe, and the kid is starting. How old is Pepe?
Pepe is like
23, 24.
Yeah.
And Saka's a teenager.
Yeah, but the difference is like Saka is now like used to playing in the Premier League. You get me? That because he started from like the academy. So he's from the academy, used to play in Premier League. Pepe came from where? Like a different place. So he's just getting used to it. So I give him 2 more years, and then I'll be like, okay, get the fuck out. You get me?
Yeah.
Who, Pepe? Yeah,
Yes.
give him 2 more years.
I give him
You
2 more years, and then I'm like, okay, I want a refund. You get me?
Pepe
Somebody come
really
by.
needs to lock that position down in those 2 years, because that'll be around the time when other clubs will start humming around Saka to get him.
Pepe is like worse than Willian right now.
What? Please, you just say that. Just don't know. Like, you don't know how bad we Arsenal fans.
No, Willian has been bad, but that's just my opinion. I want to ask one more question for my questions, and then we tweeted and asked some people who listen to the podcast if they got any questions. So this might heat things up a little bit between me and Neil. We'll see what's up, and y'all can jump in on this. Should Man United have gotten a penalty in the Chelsea game? What do you think, Amana?
I think that was a very hard call.
Right.
I say yes, but I hate the amount of penalties that United have been given this fucking season. They have been the penalty kings. Last minute penalty. You're like, fucking hell. Penalty. They win by 1-0. You're like, fuck that. So that I say no. That's because of that I'm saying no, but yes. Like they should have been given a penalty.
Lee, what you got?
I think the reason that Tuchel had to take Hudson-Odoi off was because he had to go sign his contract for the Harlem Globetrotters.
Yeah, for spinning the ball on his fingers.
Yeah, like, I mean, his arm was like up here. And if the ball touches your arm when your arm's up here in the penalty area, it's still a little harsh, but it's a penalty. And
it wasn't really up there. Come on,
you're going to get your chance, Neil. Just let Lee.
Did you see the interview with Shaw after the game as well? Like, he said he spoke to the referee, and the referee said, "I can't give it because people will talk too much about it."
People like Imana will have a problem with it.
Yeah, I would. I actually would.
Yeah, that's what he said. So you're why we didn't get that. And Neil, give me your bullshit. I know you have some data to
I think
the bullshit you're about to say, but go ahead.
I looked at the regulations, but
of course.
I think what Lee just said, if it was that the hand was right here, I would have agreed it was penalty. I looked at every angle. I don't think the hand was up there. The hand was maybe slightly on, because both Greenwood and Hudson-Odoi's arms are around the same place, and they're maybe slightly above the shoulder. But if you see the law, it says it's not just, people think like if the hand is above the shoulder, it's a penalty. The law says it has to be clearly raised above the shoulder. I don't think it fit the criteria of being clearly raised above the shoulder. And the other thing was, being in an unnatural position. I don't think that's an unnatural position when two players are going for the ball, trying to jostle each other away. That's literally how duels happen. You do that to get some leverage on the other player's body. So I really don't think. And the thing that was shocking to me from a United the team's point of view, was that this was, whichever way you look at it, there was so much. Even if you want to give it, it's not a stonewall penalty, right? It's such a 50-50 or a 60-40 or a 40-60 penalty.
I think that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a penalty.
Yeah, but that's here's the thing. You see where his shoulder is. His shoulder, it arcs down and it goes up. Right?
I mean, I'm just waiting for you to finish so I can just jump in. But go ahead, man.
So what Luke Shaw came out after the interview and saying that, when they looked at it, like, these guys have become so used to getting every single jump ball in their favor that they can't believe that something goes to VAR and they're not on the right end of it. And then Lee, but draw straight.
His hand is above his shoulder. His hand is above his shoulder. His hand is above his shoulder.
No, again, draw straight line from his shoulder to the tip of his leg.
Lee, show that photo again. Show that photo again.
This one.
Yeah, so
his hand is above his shoulder, bro.
No.
Right there.
It's literally he's doing this. He's doing this.
Even when you did it, your hand was above your shoulder.
No,
we had a penalty last week against Wolves when Bertrand had his arms here, and the shot came at him, and hit him. He had his arms in here.
No, but that's what I'm saying. So the definition of handball law throughout the season also has changed quite a lot. So here's my
this is a long
VAR,
point,
and my point about VAR has generally been, if it's a 50-50, I will not moan either way, and that's what I feel is with this one. And so, if the on-field call stays,
you don't have to moan it when you're away. You don't have to.
No, but if it stays with the on-field call, I'm completely fine with it. But the fact that Luke Shaw comes out after the interview, after the match, and goes, "Oh well, they told Maguire that the referee told Maguire that if I give it, it's a controversial call, so I can't give it." How bereft of common sense are you that which referee is gonna say something like that in the middle of a game to a player? Like, that's the most unbelievable thing. Like, you probably trust Maguire with. You're taking the captain thing way too seriously if you really believe that that's what the referee told Maguire. And then for Solskjaer to take that on and then blame Frank Lampard, who's not even the Chelsea manager anymore, and then blame the Chelsea website as if the referee had a side shot of the Fifth Stand app, which is the official Chelsea app, while going to make that decision. It's just ridiculous.
He's just blaming. All right, so let me just jump in. He's blaming Lampard for gamesmanship, like in the NBA, right? This is what the Bulls coach used to do. He used to complain in the media about how rough the Knicks used to play, so that the night of the game, the refs would pay attention to it before the game. So Lampard did that.
But Lampard did that. Nobody even paid attention.
Yeah, but we saw it. Somebody paid attention, and Lampard did that so that we wouldn't get a penalty in your game when we played you. So it's gamesmanship. But listen,
you know who the master of that was, though? The master of doing that was Alex Ferguson.
Which is fine. It's game. The key term is gamesmanship. So my point is this: I'm a Man United fan, but I don't think that it should be a penalty. But I only have one reason why it shouldn't be a penalty, because I think to me, that's not a handball. But I have more reasons why it should be a penalty. First of all, I'm glad it wasn't a penalty, but this is why it should have been a penalty. It should have been a penalty because of what Lee just showed us. It should have been a penalty because of your long explanation. Let me know it was a penalty. It should have been a penalty. It should have been a penalty. It should have been that was clear. It should have been a penalty because every Chelsea player wanted a handball call before they. So it's like, if they wanted a call and the person who touched the ball was their player, it should be a call. And then another reason why it should be a penalty is like when there's a shot of Chelsea players over by the monitor looking at it because they were arguing before, and then Giroud saw the hand and he tapped Rudiger and said, "Let's walk away from this." And that let me know it was a penalty. And what the ref said afterwards let me know it should have been a penalty. But I didn't want to win the game like that.
The ref didn't say that because Man United has now backtracked.
I'm sorry. My other reason why it should be a penalty, like you say, refs don't make that mistake, but refs do make that mistake because there's one more reason why it should be a penalty, and there's another reason why I believe the ref said what he said. Well, the other reason why it should be a penalty, because in the Brighton Hove, I think it was West Brom game, that was a penalty. That exact hand height and play from across was a penalty a few hours before the Man United game. So that's another reason why it should be a penalty. And then why I believe the referee could have messed up and said that, because of what also happened in the Brighton Hove game when the referee blew the whistle for the free kick and then blew the whistle to blow off the free kick, then okayed the goal. And then, so that's a physical version of a referee messing up verbally. So
but he didn't say anything. You're not going to go out and compromise your own integrity in a game that you still have to referee for the next 85 minutes.
That's what the Brighton Hove ref did.
To a bunch of players.
The Brighton Hove ref messed up huge.
No, he messed up. He messed up, but you're not going to admit to it, right? Even if that was,
he gave Brighton Hove another penalty that they didn't deserve in that game. Like that guy, nobody touched that guy. So refs mess up. But we got some good, I guess, fan questions. Let me locate them. And
what I will say while you're doing that is I think the consistency this season has been one of the problems. Like VAR has been applied so many different ways. Mm-hmm. Like if it was like, okay, anything where the hand is away from the body and the ball touches it as a penalty, then great. But like I say, we had one given against us for Bertrand where his arms were here and he's turning to try and like block a shot with his body. And then we had Matty Cash for Villa against us who had his arm out and practically saved a shot and the VAR didn't give it. So, and there's been loads of other games where like really weird calls have been made even with VAR. So I just think people want to see either everything given or none of them given.
There's never going to be consistency. Like one thing people always bring up is like, where's the consistency? You never just drop it. Just drop the consistency call. That's not going to happen. So Scott James Cooper, he always listens to the podcast, and we said anybody have any questions that they would like us to debate. This motherfucker sent in like 10 questions. We ain't gonna get to all 10, but he did make me aware of something that I wasn't aware of until now. And he said Zlatan versus LeBron. And I was like, why did he bring that up? And then I looked it up. So what do you guys think, Zlatan versus LeBron? And basically Zlatan made a speech or a statement saying LeBron should stay in his lane and not talk about politics. So Iman, I keep
on that. No, Iman.
Iman.
Yeah,
all right, cool. I like when I'm not sure about a name, even if I'm saying it right, I always think I'm saying it wrong.
It's cool, man. You're saying it right.
Right, cool.
Like, okay, once off is like, what's his name? Wasn't Zlatan, right?
Zlatan,
wrong. It is wrong for saying that because Zlatan that we use his voice, right? They just speak out. They speak out about like the injustice that was going on in Sweden.
Yes,
back in the time. You get me? Yeah. So now, like Zlatan, like is being what's called? Yeah. Because now, like guy is saying, "Oh no, like just shut up and play basketball." It's okay for anyone to use their voice, like just to speak the truth or like just to speak facts. It's okay to do that. And for somebody like LeBron James that is so powerful and the guy's such a big platform. Let the man use his voice to draw attention of the stuff going on in America, because I won't lie to you guys, I am scared to go to America. I don't. I am literally. I'm fucking.
And this is a black guy in Ireland.
This is like I'm scared. Why, right? Why, right? No, why? That's because if you guys come to Ireland, right, it's so safe that the guards do not carry guns. The guards, which is the police, like they don't carry guns around. You get me? Right. So like for me to go over to the States that everybody has a gun, guys have a gun, that will freak me the fuck out. I will be on edge 24/7. Like one move and I'm gone. You get me? So I think that what's his name? That like LeBron James, right, should keep speaking on it, because we need his voice, because he has a bigger like platform, like just to change stuff. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Right. And I wasn't even an answer. I just don't want to. I was going to go to. I don't want to forget this. It's like Zlatan. If Rashford had shut his mouth, kids would be starving.
True.
Kids would be literally starving, Zlatan. But go ahead, Lee next, and then Neil.
I think like people complain about sports people when they don't do anything. If they're just out like buying cars or clubbing and stuff, people complain about that. And then they complain when they want to actually do some good in the world. It's like, well, I think the problem's not with them, it's with you. And like with LeBron as well, it's like he is playing basketball. You tell him like shut up and play basketball. He is playing basketball, and then he's doing this on top of that. He's he's a legend on and off the court. So you can't say anything to him. He's it's a stupid thing to say. Like even if you don't agree with it, just keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, it just shows you what Zlatan is. He only cares about Zlatan.
Yeah. What you got, Neil? Is he frozen? I think Neil's frozen.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
I can hear you, but your picture's not moving. Your video's static.
Ventriloquist now.
Are we still discussing? I dropped off for a bit. Are we still discussing Zlatan?
Yeah. We wanted to get your opinion on Zlatan. Well, maybe I'll go, and then by the time Neil fixes his technical shit, we'll be back on. Zlatan, you should never tell anybody to stay in their lane because you didn't stay in your lane. And number two, if people stay in their lane, there's so many things that we use today in the form of modern technology or just inventions that people stepped out of their lane and did these things and created these things that made the world better in a 1,000 ways. And, there were a lot of black athletes like Muhammad Ali and Luan Cinder, which is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and just so many black athletes back in the day. Jim Brown, who did not stay in their lane, and the Boston Celtics center. Why am I forgetting his name right now? That helped like black people get a better life. And anybody that helps a group of people get a better life has improved the world, because when people one group of people gets a better life, then it improves just the world, period, because you don't know what good those people are going to go on to do to just improve the rest of the world. Like light brings light. And then just before this, like there are white journalists on Fox who are telling LeBron to stay in his lane before this, and that he should shut up and dribble, right? Which is weird. Like you can't tell an athlete who has a school, makes $1 billion and has to stay in his lane. Because if you tell him to stay in his lane, he will stay in his lane. And everything that he's saying that you're telling him not to say is in his lane, because he is a business person. He's paying taxes and he's employing people, and politics mean a lot to his business. So then he is staying in his lane when he says some shit. So it would be wrong for someone who has so much invested in this society to just shut up and dribble. That he's past the point of like, when you're generating that much money, you're in almost the top 1%, or you're close. You have to say some shit. So Zlatan, I love you, but you're wrong. I don't know what Neil said. Yeah, I
agree with your statement, and like it's so weird because what's his name? It wasn't. I forget his name. It's like Zlatan, right? Comes from the like traveler community, but like his background. From like the Roman.
He's a Bosnian refugee.
Yes.
Yeah.
So in my head, I'm like, how can someone that has come from that like now be like, you know what? Shut up and just shut up and play basketball. Do not talk about it. You just ignore it. That's technically right. That the one thing he's saying is like just forget about it. Like just play your basketball, get your money, and go home. Don't worry about. Don't listen. That doesn't bother you. That is what. That's what the guy is like saying technically. People like, just shut up and dribble. And it doesn't make sense, because you're like, really? So like, it's just like, okay, yeah, I'm rich, I pay money, cool. Then people suffering, I will ignore them, because you know why? It doesn't bother me. That is not how society is meant to work. And that's not how or like a bunch of us as a bunch of me. So that's my take on it.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Neil, you want to say some Zlatan shit?
I'm done with Zlatan. Like I don't know.
For real?
Yeah, like he just takes this thing a bit too far. He's clearly not informed of this, the reasons behind sportsmen, and not just LeBron, sportsmen in America taking the stance that they have. And it's not just America, right? In various parts of the world, sportsmen have taken a stance on stuff like this. He's really not somebody who should. In fact, if anyone needs to stay out of a certain topic, it should be him commenting on how other sportsmen should be using their platforms. And I mean, this is the guy like who's pretty much gone out of his way to make himself into a Chuck Norris kind of character over the last five or 6 years with all his, I'm bigger than the game kind of personality. So, yeah, I feel like Zlatan should stick to the game and just play football.
All right. So I have the question. I think Eman would have a fun with this question. So Joseph Duda, he asked me like 3 questions. And the funny thing is we discussed one of them about Man City with all their money. Do they have an unfair advantage? But we talked about that. But another question is, will Spurs win anything?
No. I hope they never win.
I think it's really important for me and Iman for that not to happen.
I hope Spurs never win. I hope the drought keeps. I hope. Oh my goodness! Wait. I think I have a a stat on my phone that my friend sent to the group
that you just happen to have in your Spurs bashing group.
It was. Let me tell you. The countries that have gained.
I got sent that as well.
Yeah. There's been literally over. Wait, I can't find it. Oh man, I think it's like the countries that have gained their independence.
Oh shit!
Since like
Spurs won
the trophy. Yes.
Oh my god.
Well, they've got a chance in the Carabao Cup if you consider that a trophy.
It is.
It's them against City, isn't it? So
City's going to win that.
They've got a chance. You think City are going to be massive favourites, but
they will.
Who knows? Mourinho could go there and just he'll spend the whole week teaching his players how to park the bus, and they might fluke a 1-0 off a set piece or something, or Son on the counter attack. Who knows? But I'd rate the chances like 80-20 in City's favour in that game.
Right, but the 20 is huge. Like, so I was watching Spurs play, and last week I was like, Spurs needs to do one thing is double down and play even more defense. But this week they made me think they should. Spurs' best players are attacking players, but their emphasis of their game plan is on their worst players, who are their defenders. So based on what Spurs did to Burnley, and I know it was just Burnley, but Burnley beat Liverpool.
It's solid though.
Should Spurs just be like, fuck it, let's go for it. Let's play all attacking. Let's have Bale on one side. Let's play, let's go. Like, they dropped Ndombele back so that he could be a holding midfielder, so he could CDM and also inspire attacks. And they were just very attacking looking. Should they just go for it and play that type of football?
I think that's what their fans want.
Mm-hmm.
I think their fans, like Spurs fans, have always put sort of style over substance, and I think they would rather see their team actually have a go.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they seem to be fairly happy with it under Pochettino, because that's what they did under him. They played attacking football, they had to go. They didn't always get the right result, but I mean, I think maybe they'd be happy with Mourinho's style if it was getting results, but it hasn't. Like, if you're playing bad football and getting bad results, then
right,
what incentive is there for you to go to a game if you were allowed, or to watch your team on TV? It's like, well, there's nothing.
I think they might win that Carabao Cup.
Don't say that. There's no need for that.
Nobody thought Arsenal were going to win the FA Cup last year.
Yeah.
Don't be making claims like that, okay?
Yo, they're right there. They're right there.
Don't listen, okay?
And now Bale just turned into 2000 5 Bale or whatever. He was good Bale.
I still believe they're not going to do nothing. Okay, they're not going to be. Countries have gained their independence. Countries like Zimbabwe gained its independence before sports. Like, I refuse. You don't understand. Like, okay, I don't want us to fucking finish below Spurs. I hope we don't. We still have a long game to go. I hope that they keep dropping points little by little, and all we can do is just keep taking points little by little and try just get into the top 6, maybe top 4, top 5. I don't think we're going to get it, but top 6, we can get into that, right? Now, title game, I hope they don't win, because if Spurs finish on top of us and also wins a trophy before us, I would not be able to, like, you don't understand. They hate this. I've gone to see like a live game, right? Of him. I've gone to see like a live game between Arsenal and Spurs, and the hate and the chance that you be like, oh, we really hate them, yeah? I was like, I didn't know we hate them this much. I was like, oh, so we really don't fuck with them. They're like, yeah, okay, I get it. Like, it's no. It's
worse.
Die.
It's worse than racism. Their hate. It was like, it's just like I never thought there could be anything worse than racism. But the way these two teams don't like each other, Jesus Christ!
Like, the fans go at each other, and you're like, are you guys just like, we don't fuck with them? Like, okay, we don't fuck with Spurs.
I'm trying to see, like, because it's possible. So I'm trying to see the silver lining in this. Like, I know, like, I'm the same as Iman. Like, the biggest thing is, like, you know,
why? Because you're from London.
Empty trophy cabinet. That's an amazing thing to banter Spurs fans with. So.
Yeah, just banter them for life.
Give the Spurs cleaning ladies something to clean.
No, but here's the silver lining, though. I think one good thing that can happen if they win that trophy is they're probably going to keep Mourinho for a couple more years. And I don't think that's going to... Because the other option is they've been touted to be seeking out Nagelsmann for their club. And I kind of rate that guy. I think if he comes to Spurs, I think they can do something good. So maybe, you know, for the greater good, we have to just give them this, guys.
Yeah, like, what's your... All right, Eman, would you rather they win the trophy and they keep Mourinho, or they lose the trophy, they fire Mourinho and hire Nagelsmann, and then you have to deal with this guy for a few years and the success that he might bring? Like,
now you're making me think.
It's only the Carabao Cup as well. It's not a big
yeah.
one.
Yeah.
But Mourinho, yeah, that's funny. At least trying to talk. It's only the Carabao Cup. Just think about it.
Like, literally, it's a tough one. It's a really tough one. It's like, you really want to have... No, you don't have them to be like, you know, we won a trophy before you guys. No, like, oh, we won a trophy, and guess what? We fucking finished on top of you guys. That, like, just the pressure of, you're going to hear that for years, you know, because, like, okay, I'll say, right, I don't mind them winning the Carabao Cup if they don't fucking finish on top of us, and if they don't finish in the top 6. They can take that cup, because the banter of, oh, guess what, you know, in the Champions League or like the European Cup, you can have the fucking cup. You can have that. But if they go on top of us, then you'll be like, it's just going to be I'm going to be angry. My girlfriend's going to nag me saying, I want that.
So, like, is your girlfriend a Spurs fan? That's what this sounds like.
No. Okay. I'll say to you, right? So, like, it's so weird because she was, she was dating this guy. And that was an Arsenal fan, right? And it was a cunt. Like, she hated this guy, right? And now I'm an Arsenal fan. She's dating me. She's like, for fuck's sake, any team, because I hated that chap so much. I'm like, I can't help it. I support this team from a young age, so I got to stick with it. That's why she hates Arsenal, because of some ex-fella, some ex-dude. Sorry,
some ex dude. All right, let me go. That's funny. This is kind of another question about Spurs. Austin Long wants to know, is Mourinho still a good coach?
No. I think he's done out here. like he's like just for me, that guy's going on just like a bunch of hype and name. One, because he cause fucking controversy anywhere he goes. In dressing room, he goes in and everybody start fighting. He does like he literally will throw his players under the bus, no problem. He will literally be like, fucking Willian, I don't know who the fuck bought him, but fuck this guy, I went to sell him. He's that type of manager. And like it's just so fucking destructive. That's what I think. And you guys?
What do you think, Neil, since he used to be your boy? Is Mourinho still a good coach?
I mean, is he a good coach to win a title? I guess that's the question we're asking, right? Like, is he a good coach at the top level of the Premier League?
Well, the question was, is Mourinho still a good coach?
I mean, he's a good coach. If Swansea come up to the Premier League next season, he'll be a good coach for them. But whether he's...
Wow, bro. That's just, he won you titles. He put you... God damn. Y'all don't...
I know, but you know, it's been a while. And that's the thing, like if you look at the 2000s, this dude won a league almost 8 years out of those 10 years. And now it's been 7. This is the 7th season that he hasn't come close to competing for a title, forget winning anything. So, or the 6th. So it's definitely been a big drop off from where he was. And also, if you look at the Spurs team, I actually felt when he took the Spurs job that this is perfect for him, because this Spurs team is not really a project team. They had a lot of established players in key positions, and with some smart recruiting, which it seemed like he got, because he got players like Højbjerg and who's that kid, like that Doherty kid, probably not worked out as much, but he was, when he came in, he was a pretty highly rated guy. So I thought he can actually do something with this Spurs team. No, I think Matty Doherty, yeah, from Wolves.
From where?
So I was actually fearful of Spurs and the Mourinho, because he would have just had to go back to how he used to be before he became this really cynical player. I actually know a moment in his second spell at Chelsea where we were playing a really attacking brand of football that season, the season where we eventually won the league. And on New Year's Day,
in the beginning of the season.
Half the season, exactly half of the season.
And I remember,
Yeah, New Year's Day, we lost 5-3 to Spurs. And this guy comes out in the press conference and he's like, well, we are not playing tennis, are we? And he just completely shut it. We just won 1-0 after that.
Yeah, 1 and 2.
Title. And he's never played attacking football since. So, so yeah, I don't think he's gonna go back to competing for titles.
What you got, Lee? Is Mourinho still a good coach? Would you take him at Southampton?
I mean, if Hudson-Odoi left, maybe, but I think like in the 20 years that he's been a top level manager, like the game has changed, and I don't think he's fully evolved with it. I think he's almost believed his own hype and like, I'm the man, I can, you do it my way. And it's like, or maybe your way, it doesn't work anymore. Like I saw a stat, I think I might have even sent it to you on a text, where it shows like his sort of win ratio and stuff like that over his jobs, and it's
going down.
It's going down, and he's just not really evolved. And I don't think he knows quite what he wants to be anymore. Almost like at Spurs, like you say, they've got players to play a certain way, and he's asking them to play a different way. He's not really adapting to the players. He's demanding that they adapt to him. And is that the best way to do it? Probably not. And like, if Spurs don't finish top 6 this season, say Iman's like dream comes true and they don't finish top 6, and he gets say they fire him at Tottenham, like where does he go? Like does any super club touch him? Does Bayern touch him? No. The Juve touch him? No. But the Barca or Real touch him? No. PSG wouldn't touch him, I don't think. Like where does he go? Like does he go to China? But the money's drying up there. The team that just won the Chinese league also went bankrupt. And like I could see him maybe going and doing like the Portugal national team or something.
Or the England national team. Because he's been
money.
very linked to that in the past.
Money.
He was very close to getting that job.
I don't think the FA.
Come on, man.
The FA don't want someone with that.
Come on, a foreign Sam Allardyce.
Neil, you really coming at me this episode. To be honest, you said there's a few things you said that's kind of like could ruin my day. I'm going to play devil's advocate on this question. Like, is Mourinho still a good coach, or is he picking the right scenarios? Like, when I think about Pep always picks the right scenario. Like, he picks the team that wants to spend the money to get him what he wants, so they already have it, and if he needs anything extra, he'll get it. So Barca, right? Everything was there, and they spent some money to get whatever it is they needed. Then Bayern. All Bayern does is spend the money that they need, and they spend it within the Bundesliga, stipulations and budget. They're the highest spending team in their league, and just the other day they just bought, I can't say his name, Upamecano from a rival, the team that's second in the league, and it's like Pep was there. And there was no way they weren't going to have the best players in the league. And now he's at Man City, and he goes to Man City when the guys he was at Barca with were running it, and it's oil money. And they're like, we got the cash. Now, it hasn't been the same for Mourinho. When he went to Man United, the same thing. Iman has problems with his board, and you have problems with your board, Lee. Like Man United, they're digging into dividends, they're spending interest or compiling interest on the money, they did not get him what he needed, so he couldn't set the team up the way that he wanted them to play. Pogba was out of position because of that. They didn't buy him the defenders he needed. He spent money on defenders, but then he wanted more, and then he fell out of favor, and he got into an argument with the team. His temperament at Spurs has been better than it was at Man United. Like, you could tell from the press conferences that he's learned and he doesn't want to lose the team. But we know how Levy is, right? Levy don't spend money. He'll spend some because he knows he has to spend some. It's like to keep Mourinho in there. But Spurs did not buy any top players that any top team in all the leagues in Europe would want. Like, Højbjerg was on nobody's radar, and Spurs, they got Bale when nobody wanted him and everybody thought he was done. Then if you think about the players that they did get, nobody was trying to get those dudes, no top players. So he's in another scenario where, and we all know now Spurs has no defense. I didn't know why Spurs was losing under Pochettino, but now we know that back four trash. It's just trash. So he's there. So he's like, is he done, or does he need to find the right scenario? I feel like it's a combination. It might be more need the right scenario. Get on it. Be a better chooser. Be picky like Pep.
Yeah, the Spurs job, it almost felt like he sort of felt like he needed to jump back into the first sort of big job that he could get, because he's got that ego and he wants to prove himself, and he wants to take a job where he can do something at a team that have a point to prove, because Spurs kind of did. Can you imagine how much his reputation would have gone back up if he had been the person to bring a league title to Tottenham? He'd be like, no one else has done this, but I can do it. And maybe that desire to do that isn't as smart as, like you say, Guardiola just goes somewhere. So what,
where everything is set up
Bayern,
100%.
Yeah, he hasn't got anything to. They just won however many league titles in a row. He just goes in and wins some more, and his reputation stays where it is.
And then he goes to City, and they're like, we got the money. We just set this whole thing up for you. Come through. And then boom. And then they won, and then they needed defenders, and they bought all the defenders that were left in the world. And now nobody can get none. They got all of them. They got good like Laporte. Is it Laporte?
Yeah.
On the bench.
Yeah,
He
that's
has.
shocking. That is
Like-
shocking. Laporte
like
was starting
Leipzig.
anything.
Yeah, Leipzig has what's his name? They have a Man City right back. Is it Angelino? Left wing.
Angelino, sorry. Yeah.
And it's like he couldn't get. It's like they got them all. Let me see. Just get one more question. Everybody answer this one more.
But it's fine, I guess. If Mourinho, the typical shelf life of a really elite manager is around 15 to 17 years. So I don't think it's a slight on Mourinho to say he's finished at the top level, because except for Ferguson, I think I don't remember any other manager who's been at that top level for that long.
Ancelotti maybe, but even he's at Everton now, so
Everton and Napoli before that, I don't think he came anywhere close to winning a title with either of those. So
yeah, he just put Napoli in a better position than they were before he got there. Ancelotti's class, man. I love that guy. He's won everywhere he's gone, but the last two teams aren't. Like, I don't expect him to win a title with Napoli, and I don't expect him to win a title with Everton.
Yeah,
like those teams are never going to spend the money. But
yeah, they're not the level. Like when he was at Real, they were one of the best in the world. When he was at Juve, when he was at Milan, they were all
right. That's when he picked the right spots. But now I think I think Ancelotti just wants to coach now. He doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah,
he thinks he's done enough. So this next question is from Blotto T.O. What is, so let me see if I can read it right. What is it that Firmino actually does? Scores? ? Hardly ever. Assists ? Hardly ever. How did he fool everyone into thinking he's actually good at the game? I'm stumped. What you got about it?
Basically, right. Okay, like I think that the guy plays like a center attacking role. You get me? Because like the two main striker is Mane and what's the other guy's name? Yeah, like they're two main strikers. So for him, right, he drops back down. You get me? So then they're playing 2-1. 2-1-3-4. You get me? So like he drops down a bit down because then like the two of them have like the freedom like just to roam around. You get me? Like the front more often. That's what I think. But he gives that team a balance. You get me? Like some teams like needs like that balance. Okay, like you don't need for like three strikers just to go up all the time, just shooting. You just need to go out there, I'll cover you guys at the back. You get me? So I think that that guy is good in that position. That guy is good in that position that he plays, and that player is not a like it's not a selfish player. You get me? Like he's not selfish. That's like in his head, like, you know what? I have to score every game. He doesn't care if he scores. He's like, okay, I'll pass it off to these guys. He wants to score, you score. I'm just here just to win trophies with the team. You get me? He's like, I'm just like I'm gonna just do my bit, that just to help the team win. You get me? So that's what I think.
That's good. I agree with most of that. I'm going to let Lee and Neil go, but I'll probably co-sign most of that.
Yeah, I mean, he does a job for the team, and like Amanda said, you got two 20-goal-a-season players either side of him. You can't have a 20-goal-a season centre forward and two 20-goal-a-season wingers. That's not how it just doesn't work. There's no team is good enough to do that, really. But like he's the reason he's not getting assists as well. He's not getting direct assists, but he's making runs that take centre backs out and create space for Salah and Mane to come in off the wings and do things. Or he's dropping deep, like Amanda said. Like he'll go and he'll pull centre midfielders centre backs into those positions, into the midfield. And he works hard as well. He presses. He's a good player out of possession too. So he's a team player. And I think if Liverpool had like a 20-30 goal a season centre forward, the wingers wouldn't score as much. Their job would then be to provide for the centre forward, but it's a different dynamic, and that's that's football. He's not like a traditional number 9 that will score you all those goals.
Right.
He'll still get like 10 a season or something, but he's there to serve the team. And, you know, I think if you've got a player like that and it works within the dynamics of the team and those guys are scoring, then it's not a problem. But if no one's scoring and your number 9 is in the box but not doing anything, then you've got a problem. But for me, when they have all their players available, he serves a role.
What you got, Neil? And I agree with you.
I think with Firmino, he's never really been that prolific number 9. I don't even think he was a number 9 for the majority of his career.
He's a midfielder at Hoffenheim.
He was, midfielder at Hoffenheim. I remember when he came to Liverpool, Brendan Rodgers used him as a left winger almost. And then I guess at some point with Klopp, he settled into this role. And, you know, just to back up Lee's point on what Salah and Mane do, the fact that Firmino is able to play that kind of quote-unquote non-scoring number 9 is also because Salah and Mane don't mind playing centrally during games. So that position where you traditionally hope a striker to be scoring goals from is occupied a lot of times with by Mane and Salah. So it's not like they're missing out on anything there. But the problem, I think, becomes when you have a team like Liverpool that's not going through a good run right now. A lot of pieces are not clicking. And then when the goals are not coming, then the spotlight shines on the guy who was... And he's like, well, I was never so here to score goals. Well, now your other parts of your game are also not clicking because Liverpool's now not a team that's scoring a lot of goals. So I guess that's where it comes from. And then people like really scrutinizing, oh, is he a good finisher? Well, he's not. But you know what? He's never been a great finisher. But now in a team which is starved of goals, these issues get really highlighted. So I wouldn't be surprised if there is a feeling within Liverpool that even as what Firmino does, he's kind of hit his peak. So we may, want to have somebody else, to compete for the number 9 spot. Because another thing is, and I've seen that at my club in the past, when you have players playing in their role and they have absolutely no pressure, because right now Firmino's backup is Divock Origi. I don't think he's under any pressure to, lose his spot at any point. So that can take a bit of the competitive edge out of your game. So,
but what about Jota? Is Jota? Jota's injured right now.
But by the time Jota got really good, he got injured. So I think that'll happen now when you have these 4 players jostling for 3 positions.
I like Origi as well, but he needs to leave for the sake of his career because he's never going to be. Yeah. He's never going to be the number 9 for them. So he needs to drop down to like a sort of upper mid-table team or something and actually develop as a player by playing every single week.
Yeah, go somewhere and be a Lukaku.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You prove everyone wrong.
Well, and prove them right at the same time. Prove everyone, because that's who Lukaku is.
He'll still go down as a legend at Liverpool as well. The goal against Barcelona and everything.
Yeah. Nobody ever forget
Champions
that.
League final as well.
Beating Everton.
Cult hero,
Yeah, you've got your story, then move on for your own good.
Yeah. My feeling is I agree with all of you. Is just like, somebody said, like when you have number 9 on your back, it's like, people are killing Martial, but they expect goals from him. And it's like he's not bringing those goals. He's wearing the number 9, even though other people are scoring and we're second in the league. Martial's a bad example, but the stuff that I've seen Firmino do to help his team, it's almost like Klopp has tricked all of us. Especially when Iman was like, there's a 2 and then there's a 1 and then there's a 3. You're like, how you have a holding midfielder in front of your defense? Like, goddamn, Firmino plays like a holding midfielder in front of the midfielders. You know what I mean? It's almost like they're playing 4-4-4, like 4-4-2. There's so many times, like if somebody loses the ball, Firmino is on their ass. There's a reason why Liverpool recovers the ball so fast when they lose it. Like, he's an integral part of that, but those things don't count as goals, and they don't count if you're wearing number 9, because it's not what the number 9 is supposed to do. So maybe he's peaked, but the whole team is peaked, and they just all hurt right now. I think next year, when Van Dijk gets time to recover and they get their whole defense, this year is just not Liverpool's year. I would give them all one more run with all their defense back and see what happens next year. And then next year, people might not be talking this Firmino shit, you know?
They can still win Champions League this season.
Yeah, they can still win.
They can still do that.
Yeah.
And
awesome.
okay, and wait, right? Okay, like when it comes to what's his name? Like Firmino, right? He reminds me of this guy, Wayne Rooney. You get me? Because like Wayne Rooney used to drop deep, used to get the ball, used to defend, used to run around, and he used to create chances as well. You get me? Like he used to do all that because when Rooney got to like a lot of stages at Manchester United, that he literally was wearing like number 9, like short, but like the guy was playing in the midfielder role all the time. You get me? How you're like, why is he there? He should be up front. You'd be like, no, because he gets the ball, he passes, he distributes, he creates chances, and the guy does everything but score goals consistently on a regular basis, putting goals in the net.
It's just hard for fans to see that number on the back of your jersey. And no matter what you're doing out there, if you're not putting the ball in the back of the net, or listen, I've seen players have a great season of assists, and the fans are like, well, how many goals did he score? They just don't care. If you have that number on your back, like, and you don't have a certain amount of goals, then to them, you had a bad season. And it's just the stigma of wearing a number 9. Well, I gotta bounce, but thank you all for being on here. Lee, you got anything you want to say to wrap this up?
No, just I hope we get a win soon. We need one.
Yeah. I'm worried about you. I'm worried about you. Neil, what you got?
I want to say, Lee, unfortunately, you don't get to play Chelsea again. So yeah, you'll have to get some points on your own now. No, I'm looking forward to Liverpool Chelsea. Another big 6-pointer for us.
Oh, sure.
This week. And yeah.
You think you could beat them?
It's gonna be tough. Like, I still feel, we aren't where we should be to compete against this, or to win against this Liverpool team. But hopefully, the way we've had this defensive record right now, we should be able to keep things tight at the back. And maybe our finishing's been hopeless, and even our attacking play under Tuchel has been below what it was before. So I'm just hoping that somehow the pieces fall together next game.
We'll see. Iman, what you got?
Just what I have to say is basically I cannot wait just for us to get over Tottenham. Also, I cannot wait to see fucking Manchester United get down to like 4th place, because I'm sick of this Bruno chant of how much everyone thinks that Bruno is the second coming of Jesus. And I'm like, okay, guys, we are getting too carried away, and it annoys me because, okay, he's a good player, but he scores mostly penalties. But we're like, oh, Bruno.
Wow.
Bruno Fernandes, like, there's other players in that team than Bruno Fernandes. And also, I can't wait just for us to play Liverpool. That is a game I'm excited to watch, the fucking Liverpool game that'll be coming up soon. Yeah.
So you believe in your team. All right.
I love how he throws that Bruno Fernandes grenade out when he knows we've got no time to debate.
First of all, I know. Like,
we go again now. I have something.
It's hilarious. All I'm gonna say is, after Bruno Fernandes arrived at Manchester United, that's when the world realized that Jesus was the first coming of Bruno Fernandes.
Well, and just like Jesus, seems like every time he comes up against tough opposition, he kind of gets nailed. You know?
Yo,
well,
he
but he always rises again. He always rises again, baby.
I'm still waiting because yesterday's game, I thought we had a poor attacking game, but we were still miles better than United attacking. You wouldn't know seeing the game that United has the best attacking, one of the best attacking players in the league right now. I know, and that's been the theme through your 7 games against the top 6.
But that's because the way we play deep instead of playing by and pushing up, and then you'd have Bruno in your face, and he'd actually run less because he hasn't rested any of the games except maybe like Sociedad, or I can name the games on 3 fingers that he rested and didn't play. But I just need you to take the photo so we could post this podcast. I'm not even going to get into it with you, bro. It got very disrespectful towards the end, fellas.
United fans just love Bruno. Like, oh, Bruno is the king. Bruno, and again, it cost my fancy team because every time it's my fancy Premier League team,
that's the way this
United
is coming.
Fans fucking vote Bruno as fucking player of the match. He didn't score the fucking goal. He didn't assist, but somehow is a fucking player of the fucking match all the fucking time.
That's hilarious. Go ahead, Neil. Take the photo. I got to bounce.
All right, guys. Okay, that's take 1. Let me take one more quickly. Okay, one more. Okay. Alrighty. Done.
All right, cool. Well, thanks, Aaron Brungard, our producer, for putting this together. Iman.
Yo, thank you for having me, guys.
Yeah,
honestly.
all right. And Iman, we got to have you back when Martin's on. He's a Spurs fan. That's hell.
Oh, that'll be fun.
I'd like to see how you two not get along. But I'm out, guys. I love y'all for being on. Love y'all for listening. And
cheers, Ian. Cheers,
peace,
guys.
y'all.
Cheers, Ian. Nice to meet you.
Aaron, I'm out.